Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for my top 10 comic books of the week. That's right everybody, thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is my top 10 comic books of the week. Not a spec list, just a list of the books that I thought were exceptionally well done and that I would highly recommend. Let's get right into it. At number 10. Transformers My Little Pony Friendship in Disguise from IDW Publishing. Y'all, I am having so much fun with this Transformers My Little Pony crossover. It's a book that obviously doesn't take itself too seriously, but it does take the properties incredibly seriously. No Transformers characters, or for that matter, My Little Pony character, none of them act out of character. It all makes a lot of sense if you know some of those properties and some of those characters, and you can tell that the creative teams are having a lot of fun with this. So far, 2 issues in, each one has contained 2 separate solo stories. They're their own thing, so you can just jump right into this one and really not miss too much. I had a lot of fun with this one, just like I did issue number 1. It's blowing me away. It's taken me by surprise. It is so much fun. It's incredibly humorous, and like I said, it's a book that, even though it's not a serious book, it does take the properties incredibly seriously, meaning that they don't act out of character or anything like that. I'm loving it. I'm having a lot of fun. If you're a Transformers fan, and if you're a brony as well, or, you know, not a brony, if you're just a My Little Pony fan in general, definitely check this one out. I have a lot of fun with it, and it's a big surprise. At number 9, Spy Island, number 1, a Bermuda Triangle mystery from Dark Horse Comics. Spy Island is pretty much from the creative team of Man-Eaters, and I thought Man-Eaters started off very strong and kind of got a little weak towards the end. The start of Spy Island was pretty strong. I really liked it. I liked the level of innovation, new, crazier ways to try to tell the story, to get some of the information across. This is something that was my favorite part of Man-Eaters, and it's already prevalent in Spy Island. The basic premise is you have this island in the Bermuda Triangle filled with spies, and they're all kind of stuck there. So they all go around in the same circles, they got their own drama, and that stuff's being built up a little bit. But like I said, it's the innovation, it's the way of telling a story, of getting information out there, slightly different than just hand-feeding it to you in dialogue bubbles or anything like that. I'm having a lot of fun with this one. I thought it was a great first issue, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. At number 8, Lost Soldiers, number 2, from Image Comics. Lost Soldiers number 2 is, I would almost say, a challenging read, but it is a bit direct in its approach. But one of the things I really like about writer Alesh Kotz's work, and he is the writer of this book, is that he cares so much about the emotional impact of the imagery. He cares so much about the emotional impact of the flow and pace of the book, and this is something incredibly prevalent in Lost Soldiers. Issue number 1, I had to read a couple times to really quite pick up what's going on. Alesh Kotz's work is not going to spoon feed you whatsoever, but it's a very simple story, but it's not simple as far as its emotional resonance and representation. I'm really liking it. It's about these 2 soldiers from the Vietnam War. They had a member of their party who was a little crazy, did some heinous things, some non-heinous things, and now, years later, even though they're a little bit more elderly, they're finally trying to right those wrongs. They're finally trying to get some bit of revenge and semblance of peace with it, but it's really, really good. This is the effect of war on people. This is the effect of war on a peaceful person. It's the effect of war on a violent person, and how they come together, and how really it's just 2 sides of the same coin. I really like this. I think Kott is an amazing creator. The artwork in this book is super solid, very direct, very violent when it needs to be, but it really helps enhance the subtle nature of the story with a lot of direct imagery. And like I said, Kott and company are really trying to evoke an emotional response, and so far, they're winning. At number 7, The Dreaming, Waking Hours, number 2, from DC Black Label. So the second issue of the new Dreaming series is pretty solid. I loved the first issue. G. Willow Wilson is now the current writer of this series, and she's doing a great job of taking things that are already established in Sandman mythology, creating some new things. The idea, for instance, in this book is that there's a new nightmare, a little bit of a disappointment to Dream, but the new nightmare is ruin. Ruin wants to escape the dreaming. The way he finds to escape the dreaming inadvertently throws a human into the dreaming. And it's a literary student that gets thrown into the dreaming, and now she's trying to unravel the mystery of who is the real Shakespeare. Now, you know the importance of Shakespeare to Neil Gaiman's Sandman, so that's a cool little throwback as well. But the idea of this new character of Ruin and his journey is incredibly intriguing to me. The characters work, and it works so well. Now, we have become accustomed in books like Sandman and The Dreaming of having great artwork with excellent composition, and it's no exception here. Nick Robles is just killing it. It's got an organic, fluid, beautiful style to it, and I absolutely love it. It makes me feel elegant. I feel like I need to be wearing a suit and tie, drinking some tea with my pinky up when I'm reading this book. It makes me feel so sophisticated. I absolutely love it. If you're a Sandman fan, I absolutely encourage you to check this one out, and the Dreaming series that came before by Simon Spurrier and Bill Keyes-Everly. Absolutely great stuff. This one's right along with it, picking it up, and I'm having a fantastic time. At number 6, Wolverine, number 5, from Marvel Comics. Right now Wolverine is shaping up to be one of my favorite Dawn of X books. Seriously, I'm loving this. I love Wolverine. He's a great character. Many people love Wolverine. He's super popular for a reason. But when you can actually understand the true nature and essence of Wolverine, the bit of stoicism intermingled with regret, that's something incredibly true to the character. And Benjamin Percy, who's writing this along with X-Force, he's doing a great job with X-Force, and Wolverine's a character there, but here he really gets to sink his teeth into Wolverine, especially by introducing Dracula into the fold. In this issue, you got Dracula, you got Omega Red. I'm having so much fun with this. This story arc, to me, 2 issues in, is blowing the initial story arc out of the water, and I love that initial story arc. It was highlighted by Adam Kubert's artwork. Amazing artwork from Adam Kubert. In this issue, you got Victor Bogdanovic, and the artwork here, holy cow, it's like a cleaner, more precise Greg Capullo at times, though it definitely has its own approach and style, and I'm absolutely loving it. The coloring by Matt Wilson, he's just one of the best colorists in the business, has been for a while. This proves why. I love it. It's impactful. It's got some big moments, but the big core to me is understanding the true character of Wolverine, and that's something that some people just write him as a badass, some people just write him as a loner, but he's a little bit of both and everything in between. And Percy understands Logan, and it's coming across in these pages masterfully well. Wolverine, if you haven't been reading it, Brooks, I'm talking to you. You got to read it. Wolverine is one of the best X books out right now. At number 5, Hellblazer, Rise and Fall, number 1, from DC Black Label. A new Hellblazer book? That's really cool. It helps soften the blow that DC is canceling the proper ongoing Hellblazer book, which is amazing right now and incredibly connected to its Vertigo roots. This one is still connected to those Vertigo roots, but you know how over the last several years they've been trying to make Constantine fit into the DC universe proper? It always feels kind of, I don't know, soft or watered down. This book doesn't. This feels like the perfect bridge between a DCU Constantine and the old school Vertigo Constantine. Story is really easy to grasp and understand, but it gets into the nature of Constantine, all the danger that surrounds anybody who comes across his path. It deals with a little bit of his youth, a little bit of his family backstory. It deals with the way he approaches friendships and how dangerous that possibly can be. And you got Derek Robertson doing an amazing job with the artwork. I'm a big Derek Robertson fan. That's right, Derek Robertson from Transmetropolitan and The Boys. And because this is a DC Black Label book where they're really trying to pump out each creator's best work, he had time. And you can tell that he put a lot of detail and a lot of time into these pages, into these panels, and they are absolutely clean and they just shine forth. Tom Taylor has already been writing a great Constantine with Deceased, which has a new issue out this week as well. But you can definitely tell in this solo Hellblazer miniseries from DC Black Label that Tom Taylor 100% understands the character, and he does know how to make it bridge from the Vertigo days to the DC Universe stuff, and it's just a perfect balance. If you want Constantine to be a factor in the DC Universe proper, you got to get Tom Taylor to do it, because right now he's firing off on all cylinders. He's one of the best writers in the business right now, especially at a mainstream title, and I'm loving it so much. It's DC Black Label. It is magazine size. Derek Robertson doesn't quite use the full effect of the format, but it still is so clean and precise, and I'm absolutely just digging it. Hellblazer Rise and Fall. At number 4, Bang, number 3, from Dark Horse Comics. First of all, can we just say how happy it is to have Dark Horse back properly, like with multiple titles in 1 week? In fact, 2 books making the top 10. Bang number 3 was amazing. Like I said on the weekly comic book review, I was really nervous because I hadn't read 1 or 2 since March, so I thought I would be lost. But each issue in Bang so far has been kind of set up as its own solo one-shot story, though there is this overarching story that's being built to. So this introduces a new character and a new concept. All of these are like new iterations of spy tropes, like James Bond. This one with a little bit of Knight Rider thrown in there. That's right, it's about a chick spy with a really cool car. The car is kind of connected to her nervous system. It's not like, was that Turbo Man, the little kid that would turn into a car? Man, why did that just randomly pop into my head? Do you remember that show? That was wild and very creepy, if you really think of it. Was it called Turbo Man? I may be mistaken on that. Anyway, Bang number 3 is nothing like that. But Bang number 3 is an excellent issue. Even if you didn't get to read issue number 1 and 2, you can read this one. And if you like it, then you just might like this series. I love spy thrillers. I love James Bond, so I like to see different takes and different approaches to that type stuff. Matt Kent is the writer. Wilfredo Torres is the artist. And it really works, and it works so well. I'm really compelled by this new character, how she's going to play it into the overall story. And I'm really excited, even though we don't really get a full gist of what the overall story necessarily is fully yet. Each issue has been so solid, and to me, issue 3 was by far the best. I loved it. Thought it was great. At number 3, Lonely Receiver, number 1, from Aftershock Comics. Lonely Receiver is a sci-fi horror breakup tale, and it's a very challenging book. It does not spoon-feed you anything. Zach Thompson is the writer. He does a great job of making a very unnerving, unsettling comic book that really gets into the nitty-gritty of a breakup and how that makes you feel, how that can make your partner feel, and everything involved with that. Jen Hickman is the artist, and their work is so splendid. If you like their work on Test or Moth and Whisper, you're going to like this. I like how they adapt a different style for each book. This one, though, does feel a little bit more like the artwork in Test as opposed to Moth and Whisper, but it still feels a little bit different, but I'm loving it. They do such a great job of making it realistic and at the same time making it fantastical, even cerebral and psychedelic at times. I love this. The basic idea of this book is there's a woman and she's just gone through a breakup, so she wants to make a new partner. So she makes a new partner out of her smartphone or whatever in this near future crazy world that this is set in. It's almost a little bit, I don't remember the name of the movie, but there was a movie about a dude that had like a sex doll girlfriend or something like that, but she creates an artificial intelligence girlfriend for her, and then it goes through their relationship. It deals with the breakup. It deals with the mental anguish that happens with that, the doubting yourself, the doubting your partner. It's really, really well done. It's cerebral and it's subtle, but at times very direct. And it is a challenging read, but I did read it a second time before I did this video, and I had to bump it up a few spots because it's one of the best books of the week, in my opinion. The layouts are absolutely perfection. I love Hickman's artwork. I love Thompson's script. And of course, you got Simon Bolin doing a great job establishing the identity as the letterer, but making it fit and without standing out too much. I really like this book. It's out there if you like a challenging read, if you like something different, if you like something unique, but you like something that's filled with nuance, meaning, and revelation. Lonely Receiver just might be for you. But I will tell you this, if you've just recently gone through a breakup, some of it may just hit a bit too hard, but to me, that means it's a great book. At number 2, Coffin Bound, number 6, from Image Comics. Yo, what more can I say about Coffin Bound that I haven't already? I really can't think of too many more new things to say about this book, aside from just the idea that the book is so new. Meaning that I've never read anything like Coffin Bound. You know, we talk about how it's like Sandman, meaning it's the approach of Sandman. It's trying to reach deep into the human experience. It's trying to reach really deep into nuance and subtext, but at the same time, it's all about sex and violence and being gritty and in your face and subversive. It's a grindhouse Sandman, in a way. And I absolutely love it for that. Dan Waters is the writer. Holy cow, just everybody at White Noise is an amazing writer. But Dan Waters is taking this to another level. Something so crazy that even Neil Gaiman is singing his praises. That's right. One of the best comic book writers of all time is singing this cat's praises for very obvious and very true reasons. Danny, the penciler, the artist, it's absolutely exceptional. Their work on this title is mind-blowing. It's gritty, it's textured, it's got a lot of directness and a lot of nuance and subtlety to it as well. Brad Simpson on the coloring. Do not sleep on Brad Simpson. We talk about colorists here all the time, but Brad Simpson is doing something that the others aren't. He's doing something with such a subtle nature with his coloring to help impact the actual meaning of the story, and I'm loving it so much. You got some really cool, interesting, wild concepts in here. The second story arc does have some characters from the first arc, but it's a completely new story. You can jump right into issue number 5 and then 6 if you want to, but I highly encourage you to get the trade or hunt down the issues and check this out. When I was talking about Lonely Receiver, I said if you like something new, if you like something different, if you want something challenging, read Lonely Receiver. Well, more so, read Coffin Bound. This book blows me away. It's got fantasy, it's got horror, it's got violence, it's got sex, it's got everything in there in a very dirty, gritty, but real and challenging and resonating type of way. Plus, Aditya Bidikar on the lettering. Seriously, the best letterer in the business right now, and if you check out his work, especially on Coffin Bound, you'll know exactly why I say that. It's just as much a part of the artwork as the coloring and the lines, and it's absolutely brilliant. This book is beautiful, and I love it, and it speaks on so many real things. I was talking to Jay Strick today, and he goes, yo, dude, I was reading this part, and I think that this represents this, or maybe I'm just thinking too much into it. I'm like, no, that's exactly what books like this are for. They want you to invest into it. They want you to dig deep and try to figure out some hidden meaning, some hidden symbolism. That's what these kind of books do. They're my favorite kind of books, and it blows me away. Second pick of the week, I should say. And at number 1, We Only Find Them When They're Dead. Number 1 from Boom Studios. That's right, y'all. Boom Studios does it again with a brand new book with a really long title, but a fantastic concept, amazingly brilliant artwork, great coloring, and exceptional lettering. This is just an all-star, 5-star book. I frickin' loved it. It's written by Al Ewing. It's got a crazy cool concept. As humans, we go out into space and we find gods, these giant Galactus or celestial type beings. But every time they find them, they're already dead. So what does humanity do? Well, they mine them. They mine them for resources. So you've got ships going up to this giant god corpse, you know, slicing off bits of flesh, taking eye tissue, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, right? But then you have this whole world. They all have rules they have to follow. They're all trying to get the best pieces. They're trying to get the best cuts. They're trying to make the most money. They're trying to make the most out of the little time that they have doing this. So it's this crazy cool concept, and he uses the concept to build out this world, and he does so in such an excellent way. Al Ewing's strongest stuff, the big two for me, has been his more cosmic-oriented type stuff. And in this one, it's all cosmic, and I can't even wait because you know that there's going to be crazier stuff to come. The artwork is by Simone Dimeo, something like that. One of the previous artists on the Power Rangers books. You know, I had always said that the Power Ranger books over the last couple years especially had been some of the best superhero books in the industry. Part of that is because of the art. And now you got those artists doing their own things with We Only Find Them When They're Dead, and of course the other one over at Seven Secrets with Tom Taylor. The artwork in this one is incredibly bright, colorful, and very dynamic. It's kinetically charged, it's big, it's explosive, it's bombastic. I love it so much. This book is guaranteed to please, I would say, 90% of comic book readers. 100%. If you like great high concept, if you like great character work, if you love amazing artwork, brilliant, beautiful colors, this is the book for you. I love it. I heard some people talking some smack about the cover A because the cover A is just mostly the logo. But to me, I really like that. It's bold, and it's not something you usually see where most of the cover is taken up by the logo, but you got these little hints of something there and the little ship. But anyway, aside from all that, the book blew me away from concept, to character, to the line work, to the lettering, to everything about it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And like I said, I think 95% of comic book readers are really going to like this book. So definitely give it a shot. It's already sold out on the distribution level. Second print coming, but plenty of people probably still have it. So hunt it down. It's a great one. And so far, the reaction from the community has been pretty freaking solid. So that's what I thought about the books I read this week. That was my favorite 10. What was your favorite 10? Or your top 5, top 3, top 1? I don't care. What comic books are you reading right now that you're loving? Let's keep that conversation going down below in the comments section. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Please do like, share, subscribe, and join us over at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and a whole lot more. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on reading.